Hi, everybody. Recruiting Animal here on October 26, 2022. And there are people here. There are people attending, but it's the crowd that doesn't like showing their faces for some reason. My good friend of many years, Travis Yeager. He's here. He's a recruiter in Indiana, Jerry territory. And Ivan Gulenko is here. He's the creator of a super applicant tracking system, Klang.so, Klang.so. Who can believe that the guy won't show his face, even though I advertise his product every week? Nobody else promotes him like I do. Hey, am I obnoxious enough? I notice when I get into promoting his stuff, I start singing like that, and it turns me off a little. Anyway, I'm here talking to myself. Let me ask something. Maybe these other two guys can comment as well. I often post information about grooming, about the clothes that candidates wear and their tattoos and their hair color and all kinds of weird things that they do. I mean, the way they present themselves in my Facebook group. And whenever I do, everybody gets mad at me. They say, this is irrelevant these days. Why are you talking about this? It's crazy. It's an insult, blah, 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 blah. Okay, I know they're wrong because I read the news. But now there's a new fashion, and it just made me wonder, is this going to be significant? It's called naked dressing, okay? Naked dressing. And what it shows, well, here, Kamala Harris has a stepdaughter. She was in a fashion show for this stuff. She wore a mini skirt and a scarf. A scarf. You could see her upper body. And it wasn't a big issue. Okay, so I'm wondering if that's going to be okay in tech. If you're going to an interview, can you be naked dressed? Okay, that's my question.
Jesus, Animal, you got to bring that topic up. I swear to God.
Why? What's wrong
Travis.
with it? Hey, MaryOtherRecruiter.com. Okay, so what do you think about it?
What madness, man? Can't people dress decently? What is this new thing called naked dress?
It's their own personal self-expression. Are you going to?
Jesus Christ! Then you go live in the damn jungle. You don't sit in society.
Uh-oh. You know, that reminds me of Rain Man. Anyway, yeah. So you're wrong. You're overstating it. I don't know. Ivan or Travis, do you want to comment on naked dressing? You think it's going to be a bad issue, or?
Where does it end, God? Seriously,
They don't want this game. Travis, would you send out somebody who was wearing? They also showed someone with like fishnet.
I swear to God, I almost
pants.
puked when I saw that photo.
Okay. Well, the person where.
Yeah, as much as I love to see a woman in fishnets and a thong, that was a little out of my mind. Okay?
Yeah, it wasn't that great. Okay.
Yeah,
what about
seriously.
this? Okay, this is a posting from Ivan, who's here. Maybe he'll grace us with a comment. I've gave it a title. I just called to say I hate you. You know that.
I just called to say.
Yeah, I don't know. They
love you.
Yeah, Facebook might cut us out because you're singing a song that Sony or somebody else owns. Anyway, here's what Ivan wrote. A candidate decided to have a call with me just to tell me that he can find a job without a recruiter. He says, this is my normal daily fare. People engage you just to tell you that you suck. What normal person's brain can handle such abuse over the long term? I've never had.
Recruiters can. We can handle that abuse. That's the abuse we normally get.
Nobody has ever called you to tell you, just say, hey, I don't want to work with you. I just want to tell you how awful you are.
Oh, no, I've received a couple of calls like that. I'm like, okay, cool. Move on. I told you about a nut job guy who thought I was from Russia. And I'm calling him for a federal job, and he was like freaking out on the phone.
Yeah.
You remember? A long time ago, I told you. I told you the incident about
My memory's a sieve. My memory's a sieve. Okay. Anybody else want to comment on that? People call them up to tell them how much they hate them? It's news to me. Ivan, you don't even want to comment, and it's you wrote it? Okay.
Ivan's
What's
check.
the next topic? How would you use this information to build rapport? You know, there's two guys who are on this show quite often, okay? Rich Rosen and recently Gavin Johnston. Rich Rosen is a superhero in the recruiting world, and Gavin is a trainer. Very successful, also a trainer. Okay. And they're always saying, look, you know, when you're having a conversation with somebody, pay attention to all the little personal details and put them into the applicant tracking system so you can remind them later on about how much you care about them. You remember all the little details, okay? What about this, okay? I had a chat with a candidate recently. This is what a woman wrote, okay? A recruiter. And the candidate said, look, there's nothing keeping me in the UK. I have a boyfriend, but I will gladly ditch him if there's a better position for me to move to, okay? Okay, what should you do with information like that? You know, I will ditch my boyfriend. I got a
I'll call
boyfriend.
the boyfriend, tell him dump this female.
Okay, Travis, welcome to the show. Nice to see you.
Yeah, welcome,
Okay.
man.
Yeah, what if somebody said that to you? She told you that, or a guy said, you know, I got a girlfriend, but if you got a job for me on the other side of the country, I'm out of here. Well, next time you called that person, you know, 6 months or a year from now, you'd say, how did that breakup go? Or would you start talking about, you know, do you have a new wife? Would you, is that the kind of
Jesus.
chit chat? Is that the kind of chit chat?
Annabelle, how do you come up with these ideas? Seriously, I
I
wonder.
read it. I read this on LinkedIn. Okay. The
Jesus,
person,
LinkedIn
the
has gone to the
recruiter,
dogs.
okay, the recruiter said in recruitment, that shows you she's English, okay? You speak with so many people on a daily basis that you're bound to hear some interesting personal details. And this is what our superheroes are talking about all the time, okay? That we should be aware of these things and bring them up later, okay? And
But
the
see,
example,
you don't bring up things that will cause a bad negative vibe. You know what I mean, right?
okay, I think, okay, yeah, well, I'm going to go on. Okay, here's something from Trisha Tamkin, who is a trainer. You know, she's not here, so maybe I shouldn't mention her name, but she's somebody that Super Rich takes advice from. Okay, he loves her professionally.
She's damn good, man.
Okay, and so this okay, this woman said, I have a family and as a recruiter, my weekends are for them. If I have a candidate who wants to be interviewed on a Saturday or Sunday, I say no. And Trisha said, the best candidates tend to be passive, which means they're too busy doing their jobs to be looking for a new one. If you want good candidates, you need to speak to them when they are available. If a candidate says Saturday, call them. Successful recruiting is not a 9-to-5 job. Anybody want to comment on that?
She's right.
That's all you got to say?
No, she's
Anybody
not.
else?
She's
Travis?
the point.
Travis, is she right? Or do you say, look, I got a family, the weekend belongs to them? Anybody?
Well, yeah, no, in my own personal case, if I've been chasing somebody or there's somebody in particular I think is a good fit for the position, I'll accommodate their schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It's like my wife saying that, as you said, the family belongs to family. I mean, Saturdays and Sundays belong to the family. Then I tell her, look, I run a business. I don't have Saturdays and Sundays off.
Mhm.
No, Mondays through Sundays belong to my family, but you know, I squeak in
Good for
some
you.
work. I squeak in some work also.
Okay.
Um,
So in
Mondays
other
to
words-
Sundays. How does that
What?
work out?
What? Yeah, all the time. It was a joke. Wake up, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Here's something, maybe for Mario would know more about this. My question is, would you recruit from this company? And what attracted me about this article most was there's a CEO and he actually tells you what the culture of the company is, you know, because there's like a million articles saying recruiters sell the culture of the company, sell the culture. And if you ask anybody what the culture of their company is, they don't know. I've never found anybody who could do, you know, you say, what's a culture? And they can tell you off the bat what the culture of the company is. Okay. Now I'm going to tell you what this guy said. He said, we are a very hardworking company. We're not here to have a nice, easy time. Not everybody is a fit for our culture. passions and emotions run high, and we're not on an easy journey, but I don't want to choose an easier journey for myself or my company. Okay. Do you know that guy Agarwal from Ola?
Yeah, I
Mario?
know the guy. I've heard
Okay.
about him. Not a
Okay.
big fan of Ola though. Okay, I prefer Uber.
Okay. Would you recruit for a company where the
Yeah,
guy
why
says
not?
that?
Yeah, I prefer someone who's direct to the face.
Okay, but
I'll
what
tell
are
the
you going to tell
candidate,
your
you know.
candidates? They, you
Hey,
know,
listen, it's a shit show. You want to work for a guy who calls it a shit show?
you know,
Total honesty there.
You copied that from Rich, didn't you? Because that's what he tells them.
Not, I mean, he might say it, but I say the same thing to candidates.
Oh, really?
It's not, I tell it, it's a shit show, but it's worth it working for them. You want to work for a guy who calls it the way it is? That's the guy you want to work for. It
Okay.
may be a shit show later on, but give it a shot.
Well, actually, there's some reports about what kind of show it is there. This
Yeah, it's a crap
CEO,
hole.
if they give him in a meeting, he's been noted. So there was a report was missing the page number. He ripped it up and he started. It says directing Punjabi epithets at the staff. Nasty. He was
See,
saying nasty.
to be very frank with you, the employment laws in India are not that strong. Okay.
Uh-huh.
All right. And that's why I don't want to work with Indian companies, basically. All right.
Watch out, okay? Don't get me.
I don't
in
give a
trouble.
shit. It's a fact. I don't want to
Get
work with
me
them.
in trouble.
Oh,
You
yeah.
can drag
You're in
yourself
trouble
down
for
if you
anything,
want to.
man. The fact remains that, and so, most of these people are egomaniacs. Okay. All right.
Okay. Well,
When
this
they
guy
get into
sounds like
positions
one.
of power, he is a total egomaniac. Okay. But if you take a general company where the employer, the CEO calls it the way he sees it, and he says it's not an easy ride, I'll
Uh-huh.
recruit for them. Why not?
Okay, well, hold on a second. If your candidate looks at puts the name of the company in the internet, they see that this guy goes crazy. He'll cancel a meeting because there's a crooked paper clip. It says,
Okay,
or he doesn't like the quality
see,
of the paper. Okay,
let me rephrase that. That guy's nuts. Okay, I cannot work for a guy like that.
he's making
can
a
work
lot
for
of
a guy-
money.
He can make any amount of money, man. That doesn't matter. But the fact remains that I'll rephrase my answer to you. I cannot work for a psycho. Okay, the CEO can say that we are having a tough journey. It's not easy. You need to make your way. All that shit. That's all fine. But I'm not going to work for a psycho. That I'll openly state that, and I'll tell the candidates, don't join this moron. Right? And
Okay.
I'll call it the way it is.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't work.
wonder-
for
I
Yeah, we
wonder
don't need
if
to work, no,
Rich-
Travis. What do you say? We decide who our customers are. Heck, I got off the phone with a moron a while back. Okay, that jackass is a first-class moron. Okay, if he thinks that we are going to lower our fees just because he has 50, 60 requirements, I don't know. Keep your damn requirements with you. I ain't that desperate.
You said that to him, or that
Yeah,
was going
don't-
on in your mind?
No, that's why I told him and cut the phone. What am I going to say? Who gives a crap? He has 50 to 60 and he doesn't know the value of a recruiting firm means. Who the hell cares? And that's in the Fed area. If they don't fill the position, they are not able to provide proof of performance in the next contract. It's a long game in bidding. So he's a moron.
Okay.
Waste of time.
You know, I wonder what Rich would do with a CEO like that.
Rich will not work with a CEO like that. I'll tell you very frankly, he won't work. He's okay with a messy sales process or a messy company, but he won't work with a psychotic CEO. You remember he told us openly that he'll just fire the client.
Hold on. If they pay him and the hiring process, this guy, I can't see this guy following through properly on a hiring process.
Yeah, definitely. This
if
guy may
he
not pay the
would-
fees.
If he say, Rich, send me the guys and I'll interview them as soon as you send them, and he hires them and he's willing to pay, I think Rich
See,
would. But
Animal, I have a friend who actually works, runs another recruiting firm that works with Ola at points, okay,
Yeah.
for their recruiting needs.
uh-huh.
They are good in their recruiting needs, but you see the top level management, right, is very much away from the day-to-day operations of the company. Okay, so the normal day-to-day operations don't come across the top level management.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So maybe
Okay.
some guys will join and they may be able to do the work. They're doing some good work. I won't say they're doing bad work. But the fact
Okay.
remains the only people who really see this are those in the board meetings. Okay.
No,
And-
he came, hold on. He went to visit a plant, this guy, and there
Okay,
was
and what
a
happened?
door. Now, I consider
Yes.
this serious. A door was locked that should have been open. Okay. And he made the guy who was responsible run 3 laps around.
He's a psycho. I'm never working for a moron like that.
Well, you know, if
Hey,
there's a fire and something's not supposed to be locked, that could cause serious problems.
that's true. He's gonna
anyway.
kick the door down. That would have been a cool CEO move. I kick doors down. That's an awesome marketing opportunity.
Okay. Okay, yeah.
Ernie's
okay.
on.
Okay, here's another one. Okay. I've become interested in this idea about building trust in business development. You call somebody who doesn't know you and you want them to give you the business, so they have to trust you a bit, right? And so that's why I'm going to be talking about that fairly regularly, I think. And what do I know about it myself? I started reading some articles, and this article said, okay, what you should do is talk to the prospect about their bad experiences. Have you been burned by another recruiter? Have you dealt with a recruiter and been unsatisfied? And encourage her to tell you about it, right? Because that tells you where the other recruiter failed and where you can say, look, I'm going to come through on that. Or you can discover that they are not a good client as well. And you say, I wouldn't be able to do that either. Okay. What do you think about that, Ernie? Did you hear?
I
Building trust.
I only heard the last part.
When you build trust, you're calling Ernie the recruiter. And no, it's MarioTheRecruiter.com and FoodIndustryRecruiter.com. Ernie. At least Ernie wants to show. We got other people here, Ernie. They don't want to show. Travis,
Yeah.
actually, Travis has a beautiful voice. Okay. He should have gone into some kind of announcing profession. It's just fantastic.
Is
And
your
Travis,
voice-
can I ask you a question? I'm sorry, Animal. Travis, you run a firm or you work for a firm?
Well, I guess in transition right now. I'm thinking about unshelving my LLC, but no, I'm open to opportunities right now.
Okay, that's nice.
Travis Yeager, if you want to hire a recruiter or work in partnership with a recruiter who's got a nice mellifluous voice. I never used that word here before, mellifluous. Okay. And I don't even know if I said it right
now.
Okay. But that's what he's famous for. So maybe he's smart. He just shows his voice. Okay.
Maybe.
Anyway, Ernie, welcome back.
Mhm.
Now here's the thing, Ernie, you're calling up a potential client. You want to get them to trust you to give you a job order. Okay. And what one way you do that is say, look, have you worked with any other recruiters? Tell me what went wrong. Okay. And you get them to tell you what they didn't like. And so you can solve that problem. What do you think about that?
I think it's a good approach. I mean, it's anything you can think of at the moment that would connect you, and you got to go towards pain, whatever they're doing. They have a job opening. If they don't have a job opening, if they work with recruiters, if they don't, you got to still go for the pain, and you got to decide right away whether or not it's going to take you anywhere.
Okay. Well, you solved a problem for me just now. You gave me an idea. Ivan is here. He's being quiet. Okay. But Ivan had a candidate call him up to say, I don't want to work with you because recruiters are terrible and they're lousy. He just called to tell him how much he sucked. Okay. And so what Ivan should have done was sell into that. He should have said, come on, man, tell me about your bad experiences with other recruiters. I want to hear all about it. I want to be your psychiatrist. Okay.
Animal, he could have done one more thing. I'm sorry, Ernie. He could also say that I understand that recruiters suck, but I'm a recruiter who was quoted in the newspaper for delivering on what I promised.
I always say, hey man, I know what you mean.
Why not? Social proof.
You must know Mario. That's why you probably had that experience.
No, Mario, that's good. Okay, that's good. But that is another issue. Okay,
need to be.
You brought in an outside issue, which is good. The social proof. Okay, which leads to another thing. But I want to just ask about this one about with somebody. This is a solution for. Gavin posted something. He says, have you learned anything recently that's going to help you professionally? I just learned something, everybody. If someone tells me, I hate recruiters and they suck and that's why I don't want to work with you, I say, well, tell me about it. I want to hear what went wrong. Tell me about your pain, okay?
Show me the pain.
Yeah, I feel your pain. I'm selling into it.
So basically what you do is you agree with them. You're right. You're right. And then you go into
it's a low barrier for entry for us.
A lot of them do suck, but tell me what exactly happened that made you feel this way.
Yeah, okay, because Ivan said, look, these guys are just trying to drive me crazy, but turn the tables on them. Do the jujitsu, take the force away.
The problem is this: when you take it personally, that's when it's a problem. When you say it's an opportunity, the candidate took the time out to call him. You can imagine how much effort the candidate put in. You can twist that in your favor. Okay.
Okay. Okay, you know what? I just want to compliment you, Mario. But again, I
my
did it last
sound.
week as well on your sound because there's
Thanks to
there's a
I
woman
won.
who listens to the show on YouTube, and she noted in her in the comments to the show, this is great. Mario's sound is so much improved, and that's due to our friend Ivan.
I won.
Okay, Klang, KLANG.SO. Check it out. It's an applicant tracking system made by a recruiter himself, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So, okay. What about this? You know what? You raised that other issue. How important then are acknowledgements or, endorsements on LinkedIn? You said, if somebody thinks you suck, you go check out my LinkedIn. You'll see that I don't suck. People like me. Okay. Is that important?
No, you don't say that directly to the face. You tell them I might suck, but do you think the number of endorsements or
Acknowledgements
accolades
or
I've received,
recommendations? What do
accolades
they
I've received,
call?
okay, recommendations I've received is because I always suck? No.
I think they're garbage.
Why?
I don't even show them on my LinkedIn.
Yeah,
Why?
Travis, I agree with you. But see,
Because
Ivan had a paper.
gotten over 1,800 of them from people that I've never interacted with, and I've never given out a single one. And
okay, no, are those the written out endorsements, not the click endorsements, the one where, hey, Travis is the best guy I've ever met in my life. I would
a written out endorsement, I suppose, could be gold if placed the right way.
Yeah,
but I'm saying as far as just the skills and endorsements you get on LinkedIn, I mean,
that's bullshit. No one looks at that.
That is bullshit. I agree. But one thing is, though, since they tell you, everybody says, ask people for the people you work with, other recruiters and your clients, ask them to, give you that kind of recommendation. Then they start taking a perfunctory feeling, you get the feeling that they're not sincere. They were requested and the person can't say, I hate this guy. I have to say, I like him.
Animal, excuse me. There's a small point I would like to make. The endorsement I was talking about was the article that quoted Ivan's name in a newspaper. Now that holds a lot of weight. Remember, David Perry uses the same technique.
His articles are all about himself, about all the amazing, wild things he's done. He's a little
still
different.
there in the newspaper.
In the New York Times. Okay, his are in the New York Times.
He's the friggin' New York Times. You need any more social
rogue
proof?
Recruiter. Okay,
I love that name, actually.
Ernie's quiet. Okay.
I'm listening. I'm listening. I can tell you with LinkedIn and the recommendations and all that, it really doesn't matter. What matters is you got to look at it in terms of your clients. You just need 5 or 6. You don't need like 20, 30, 40. You need 5
Ernie,
or 6 that are good for you.
I'm sorry, Ernie. Ernie, I'm sorry. I'm going to disagree with you. You're the damn godfather. If you get on the phone, that's it. They're going to give you the deal.
Yeah,
all right.
But the thing is a lot of people look at stuff and they think, I got to get a lot of clients and constantly a lot of clients.
That's craziness.
You just need
5
maybe
clients enough.
5 to 10 and you're fine. And then from there you work it. But if they want to know a little bit about you, then they go to your LinkedIn profile. But usually what they'll look at is how long have you been a recruiter?
Can I ask you, Ernie, to show us a little less of your ceiling? I don't want to trouble you. If it's a chore, I don't want you to disturb yourself. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
And Animal, you're showing me the sky.
Yeah, but my head is in the right place. And so what?
Animal, what's that? Okay, fine, leave it.
Yeah, that's right. Leave it. It's a foam that I got from a packaging for an appliance.
I was talking about your hat. I forgot it's a hat. I was wondering what happened to your hair.
Hat. Okay, so acknowledgements.
I
You
think
guys are so wishy-washy.
I heard somebody write that
No.
at the beginning they were really good to have, but now nobody really pays attention to them.
No, Animal, you cannot deny the power of a printed quotation or something, including your name. Okay, that's a lot of power. Ivan could have easily twisted it in his favor.
But Mario, do you ask for somebody to write?
No, I really don't ask people for recommendations. I don't care about recommendations. But in Ivan's case, he was quoted in a newspaper. All right, that gives him enough of social proof to be an authority on the subject.
Yeah, you know what? I think David Perry referred me to somebody at the Globe and Mail, which is a big paper here, and a reporter called me up out of the blue, and she asked me for some comments. And then another one, this girl ran for the municipal election recently, but she was a journalist at the Globe and Mail. She called me up for an article about, she wanted to know if I thought it would be good to hire an anarchist as a recruiter on your team. I'm not kidding. And I gave a quote. I gave a quote. I thought, it'll fight groupthink. I'm not kidding. So I got mentioned in the paper twice. And one guy called me up who I worked with. He actually read it. He said, I read you're an anarchist. I don't know if that's good.
Hey, that's why you should be very careful what you say on paper.
Okay. Okay. What about this one? Again, it's the business development. They say, when you're selling your services, you want to tell them what the benefits they can get from a recruiter. What are the benefits of using it like a headhunter, an executive search firm that you would sell? I've got a few listed. You want me to state mine first?
Yeah, please
Okay.
do.
Okay. You're going to save them time. Okay. And some recruiters can actually consult with people, and the client will be open enough to take their advice on how to, structure the hiring process and how to manage the interview. Some of these people are really obviously inexperienced, and they need coaching. And sometimes recruiters are good at that, right? But what else can you say? Yeah, I'll save you time, and I'll give you, I know the field, and I'll send you people who are, match your requirements. Is there anything else that people can advise on or sell themselves on any other basis? Anybody? Oh, that's a no.
Yeah.
Ernie's mouth says no.
No, I don't want to talk about my marketing stuff online. That's the problem.
Oh, no, anybody want to say, well, how they sell themselves?
Well,
Nobody?
you basically you sell yourself, you call them up and you say, I see you have this position open. It's been a long time since it's been open. And they'll say, yeah. And they say, it has been. Okay, I can help you fill it if you want to work. And you just go into what you've done. And you're very honest. But the thing is this, it's not so much what you're saying, it's who you're saying it to. And I think if the higher up you go, the better you are. Or you go to the person that's actually doing the job because that person's not there. In other words, if there's a quality assurance on third shift and you're talking to the VP of quality, he's probably doing the job and he's pissed off. And he wants to get some results, and and then you go from there. But you got to
Okay,
find
how do you identify the job? From Indeed or some job board?
You look at Indeed, you look at a job, you look at Indeed, you go to LinkedIn, and then you go to their website.
Okay, and so you say after you identify that job, you pick the person to talk to. Hopefully you can get directly in touch with that person.
Right.
And then you say, you tell them what you've done. We know that you come out of the food industry as a VP HR. He's also a lawyer. We didn't know that. Okay,
Yeah.
but he is.
But
Okay, his education was, what do you tell them? You say, I'm Ernie. Okay.
and
What
then
else do you say?
basically I call them up and I'll say, hey, look, hey, Joe, I saw, and you tell them by the first name, Joe, I know you're the president of this company. I've noticed you've had this quality assurance position open. What's the status of it? I mean, do you have somebody already? Is there somebody already about ready to get hired? You making an offer? You got somebody you like? And they go, no. And then you go from there. Say, look, I can help you fill it. I have had that experience in filling these positions. You're in the food industry. You're in bakery. I have a number of bakery clients. And then you just try to build on that. And then you go from there and say, if I could work on this position, would you like me to work on it? They go, yeah, I think I would. Okay, fine. Who should I talk to? And then they'll say, well, you need to talk to HR. They're the one handling. Okay, fine, I'll do that. But can we do this first? Can you call them and tell them that I'm going to call? And then let me know when you've done that. And they will say, yeah, sure. And then if I hear from them or not, I'll still make a call and I'll say, I talked to Joe, the president, and he told me to give you a call. Has he spoken to you? No. Would you like to speak to me now, or do you want to talk to Joe first and then come back to me? And what you're doing is really setting the groundwork to go in to start getting job orders. And then they'll say, well, I already have the QA position taken care of. That's great. Is there any other position? And they'll say, no or yes. What about, is there anybody else that's on the verge of getting fired? And they'll say, yeah, there is. Good. Let's talk about that. And then you go into that. But there's always, when should I call you back if there's nothing? Can I call you back in a week? Because I'm going to be calling you back every week. I want to make you my friend.
You're going to say that to them? I'm going to
Yeah.
harass you?
No. I mean, see, a lot of times you just talk to them, and after you talk to them for a little while, I'll talk to you for a little while, and they'll say, you know what, Animal, you and I have been talking now for about 20 minutes. So I consider you part of my family, so you're my cousin now. So let's talk. And then you go from there, and they start laughing. What you got to do is you got to get them to laugh a little bit. Because my theory is they're stressed out at work. They want to at least talk to somebody that's not going to give them shit.
Really?
Yeah.
I
And you
don't know,
make
everybody lives in a different world than I do. I don't understand it. But Ernie, you didn't say, hi, my name's Ernie Marino. I'm a headhunter. You didn't say that, right?
no, I'd say, look, I work in filling positions. You know, I do recruiting. I've done it for 20 years. You
That's
know,
okay. But
yeah.
you didn't tell them either. Hey, Ms. HR lady, you don't say, I was a VP of HR in a food company myself. You don't say
I-
that?
I tell them that when they get uppity on me. You know, like, oh, well, you're just a recruiter. I go, oh, slow down. Have you seen my LinkedIn profile?
You say that?
Yeah, go
That's
look at
pretty
my LinkedIn
aggressive.
profile.
Hey, dummy. I mean, the
No,
left
he's
out
got
word
a,
is
he's not aggressive. He's just telling the fact.
Yeah, and
You
you
can
just
back it up.
But once you tell somebody what you've done, I've been in recruiting for 20 years in the food industry. They go, oh, I've done this and that. They realize you're not at their level, you're above them. And if you're at that, if you're there at that level, at that same level, you want to make sure that you understand the business. Because most of the recruiters do not understand the business. They understand hiring. But you got to take it to that level where you understand their business, what they're
well,
doing.
be a bit more concrete there. How do you show them you understand their business?
Look, let me tell you, when you're trying to fill a position, a lot of times when a person's in your position, they're looking at how much is it going to cost, whatever, how long it's going to take. But you got to understand that the guy that's waiting to get this position filled, your VP of operations, is only worried about getting that filled like right now. So you're being judged on whether or not you can fill it right now. I can help you do that. Otherwise, if you're trying to save them a buck here or there, or you're trying to find the perfect candidate, it ain't going to work.
What do you mean about the perfect candidate? I read something else this week where someone said, if you have a candidate with 80% of what's required, that's a hire. There's nobody's got 100%. There's no
Well,
perfect candidates. 80%. Is that what you're talking about? Oh,
Yeah,
Ivan,
Less than
so who's
80.
someone going to say something?
I was going to say something.
Okay.
Listen, if the position requires some certifications, and if the candidate doesn't have those certifications, even if he's an 80% match, we can't hire them.
Okay, but I want to hear what Ernie's saying. He says, the money's not important, saving them a few bucks, that's not important. The important thing is getting the job filled as quickly as possible. That's what you're selling. Am I right, Ernie?
Yes,
Speed.
that's speed.
Okay, and do you tell them I've got a lot of contacts in this business, right? That's the implication, or do you actually say that?
I basically tell them I understand what you're looking for.
Mhm.
I don't know if I have the right contact for you right now, but I need to know the qualifications of what you're looking for. Every company is different.
Mhm.
But I don't tell them I got like 100 million candidates waiting in line to get your job. They say, well, do you got any? Because they always ask you, well, do you have anybody? I go, no. And I don't have anybody. I don't start searching for a job unless I have the actual contract signed and I have the open position, your permission. And so then when we do that, then I'll start actively looking.
Okay, but
that's-
didn't you say something a minute ago, which took me off on that tangent about the perfect, that you don't need the
Well,
perfect person? Do you
you-
actually say that to them, or what do you
Yeah,
think?
it's but the perfect person is not there. You know, that's what they call the purple squirrel, that's whatever. But if you do not fill that position, somebody's going to be awfully upset. And I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. What's going to happen is you're going to be in a meeting. And in that meeting, they're going to talk about, okay, quality, why haven't you filled that position? And they're going to say, well, I haven't got any candidates from HR. And at that moment, you're thinking, are they lying? Are they not lying? And if they're not lying because HR has given them candidates, they just haven't interviewed them, then your next question is, okay, is it time for me to throw this QA VP under the bus? Or do I actually diplomatically figure out how to get this
Yeah.
solved?
I'm kind of losing track, but it sounds like you speak with authority because you've been sitting in those meetings and you know exactly, because I mean, in a way, you're talking down to these people. You're saying, look, I'm going to help you this way. This is your problem and you're going to be in trouble if you don't work with me. Isn't that what you're telling them?
Pretty much. And it's whether I want to work with you or not. You know, whether or not you are, you know, I only work for companies that I think treat people well. If you have jerks that work, if you guys don't have your act together and how you treat people with respect, I don't want to deal with you.
Okay, well, how does that come out? Where does that come out at the beginning? Where does that come out?
At the beginning, I'll ask them about their company. How are you guys doing? How do you, this guy, this hiring manager you have, how does he treat people? Is he a problem for you? You know, it's really, I don't want anyone to say, Ernie, what the hell did you get me into here? I came into this company because you told me it was good and it's a mess. I will tell them it's a mess if it's a mess, but that's why they're hiring you, to fix it. Are you up for the challenge? Some people want the challenge. Other people just want to walk in and they want to just say, I want everything in order and I just have to sit at my desk and do my job and everybody's fine all around me. Two different types of people, and you got to figure out what type of person that candidate is.
Do you have to figure it out, or they're going to tell you, I'm a turnaround artist. I
will
love
tell you.
going in.
They will tell you, you know, like I've had candidates turn it down and say, no, that place is a mess and it's not where I want to go. And there's others that say, yeah, I can fix it. I've created HR departments, I've created quality departments, I've created, you know, production teams, and they will tell you, but you got to go after what they want and what they need, and it's got to be a match for what the company needs.
Okay, I'm trying to put
Ernie,
it all
I have a
together.
question for you if you don't
Go
mind me
ahead. Yeah,
asking.
go ahead.
I think most of the positions you handle have a direct impact on the business. Whereas, am I
Pretty
correct?
much.
All the operations of the plant generally.
Yeah, pretty, but
So you can openly state the direct impact that of them not filling that role. For example, if they don't have a proper QA guy, the other QA guy is overworked and there could be mistakes. I mean, there can be mistakes in the assembly line.
right.
Okay,
But
that's good.
but the whole thing is you got to remember that in every position, it does affect the business.
Yeah, but some people don't understand that, and some positions do not directly impact the business.
But you
So-
see, but that's where you got to get people to understand that what you do is the business. When people talk about HR, they talk about HR as being, oh, the people that like to hold people's hands. They're always blocking me from doing this, they're blocking me.
Yeah.
And people have those kind of HR people. And that is where you got to talk to an HR person and say, if you want to sit at the table, if you want to be considered to be a force, a person to be listened to, then you, HR person, have to understand the business. Everybody has to understand.
Correct.
It's not silo.
True. But most HRs don't understand the business. That's a sad part of it.
And that you're perfectly right. But that's where you start coming in a little different. Because most recruiters don't understand.
Let's not start about
what they're recruiting.
recruiters.
They don't understand what it's like to look inside the building. They don't understand what it's like to do that job.
You know, the irony of it, I'll tell you something. I learned this from, I think from Trisha, I guess. She taught it in one of her free sessions. She mentioned about the importance of the role being a direct, productive role, bringing money to the company or costing the company.
Well, it's when they have a resume, the resume should say whether they save time, save money, or increase profit.
Yeah, exactly. That's gold.
When they do those three things, because everything you do on your resume should end with that. I rewrote the handbook. Well, why'd you rewrite the handbook? And people mix up their accomplishments with the job responsibilities, and they're all together, and you got to get them to separate that, because some people want a lot of money. And if you want a lot of money, you got to show me where you brought the company $1 million so I could pay you 170.
Okay, so I want to go. No, I've got a question for you, Ernie. But you know what? It's dark outside, and I forgot to turn my lighting on, my special lighting, and now I don't like it when I'm dark. But here's the thing. So you have come in with this. I'm going to call it a superior attitude. Okay. Hey. Okay. I'm not some recruiter who's going to kick you, you can kick around. I just want you to know that from my demeanor at the very start. That's what I hear, okay? That's the subtext of what Ernie's saying. And in fact, I'm going to advise you. I know what I'm talking about. I'm going to advise you. This is what comes across. And so after you've sort of set yourself up like that as an expert, how long does it take you generally to come back with some candidates? Since you said you don't have them at hand. You know, I can't just pull out a drawer and send them over to you.
See, I work contingency. I said I'll look for the right candidates, and I'll call the right people, and there'll be issues as to why their people want to go there or not want to go there. And right now, the biggest thing is location. And you tell them, I've talked to 50 people.
Okay,
Look.
okay, but that's not my question. Okay,
You want to know when I give.
yeah, but here's the thing. Let me just say something else. I have never really noticed a big difference in the way you work on a contingent order or a retained search. Now, everybody says what happens is it's a triage. You prioritize the ones where they're, you know, giving you money up front, and the contingent searches go to the back of the file. But that's not true. If you call someone up, especially if you have an in-depth conversation like you say you do in order to sell yourself, okay, then it's good for your reputation if you actually follow through and you do something.
Well,
You don't just don't call them. Oh, I don't have to call them. They're not paying me anything.
No. But there you have it. What you do is you keep in contact with them. You communicate with them. And you, like on Fridays, you say you do your search, you do Fridays, and you tell them, let me give you an update what's going on, what I have, what I think is going to happen. And I got so many people and blah, blah, blah. You make sure you have everybody's mobile phone number. I'm talking about the HR people and whoever else, hiring managers' mobile
So
phone.
those reports, even when you don't have a candidate, you do that on the phone. You don't send an email.
No, I call them. I call them because that's the opportunity where you talk to them, you see what's going on, and that's the time they'll tell you, oh, by the way, I also have another position, or, you know, I told you we had filled this position, which happened to me the other day. The guy decided to accept another offer, so it's open again. And so it's the communication, but you got to remember, they're under a lot of pressure. No matter what job you have, you're under a lot of pressure. So you got to not be sensitive to them answering or not answering, but you got to keep trying. And a lot of people have said, well, I email, I text, but it's like when you text your kids, they don't tell you everything. When you talk to them, you get to hear the tone of their voice. And I've had people talk to me and tell me, you know what, that's true. By the way, I'm going to send you my resume.
Yeah.
And then I go, you know, you got to.
That's an awkward situation. Yeah, I don't envy that one.
Yeah, but you get a gist of what, and then you say, well, what's going on with the company that's causing you to do that? And then you start getting into a lot of those conversations.
Okay, but Ernie, hold on. You said you phone them. Are you leaving voicemail messages? These are for follow-ups when you just say, I have nothing. That's exactly what you want to tell them. I have nothing yet, right?
Yeah,
That's the bottom line.
I have nothing.
10 times? Are you going to leave voicemail messages?
I'll call them and say, look, I have nothing right now.
What if they don't pick up? That's what I'm saying.
Okay,
You know,
well,
they see Ernie calling.
Well, understand, this Ernie, I have nothing. But
Is that your voicemail?
yeah, I'll leave a voicemail and that'll be it. You know, I have nothing, but I want to talk to you. And then you send them a text. And then you say, hey, I just left you a voicemail and I left you an email, because you'll send them an email. We need to talk. Call me.
And do they get back to you?
Yeah, they do.
Really? Okay.
Because
And if they didn't, how much would you pursue them? Or would you say, I'm not going to work this search anymore?
after a while, you just tell them, you know what, if it's not important to you, then it's not important to me.
Okay, Joe, you don't tell them that up front like some people do. I got to hear back from you in 48 hours or I'm not going to.
I do tell them that. I do tell them I need to hear back from you. When I submit a candidate, I need to hear back within 48 hours.
Okay, but you're actually not submitting a candidate in this situation.
But the thing is, you kind of know when you get their phone numbers, right? But I'll always ask for their mobile number. I said, because I'm going to call you different times. I work on weekends and I work at crazy times, but I want to call you and I want to text you.
You'll call a client on a weekend?
Yeah. I will call them on a weekend.
They don't get offended?
Not if they're the higher up they are, the less offended they are.
Okay.
And
Because
then-
we
and
started
you
the
come
show
in-
before you came on, this recruiter said, I am never speaking to anybody in business on the weekend. Saturday and Sunday are for my family.
And see, that's the recruiter part, okay?
Yeah.
But if
We're
you've been-
business owners.
But if
We
you're in
don't
the
have
business,
Saturday,
if you're in business and you're,
Yeah.
you know, it's your business or it's their business, they need things fixed. And if you can get them the right person over the weekend, I mean, you have interviews over the weekend, you have, you know, these plants are going down, you have a maintenance guy. If you're hiring a maintenance person, you got to understand one thing. When they're having the company picnic, all the maintenance guys are working because they're fixing things that need to be worked and the people are gone. And so that's why you gotta understand how the business works.
True.
Other businesses don't work on the weekends, but if
Okay.
they're installing equipment, they're on the weekend.
Let me ask, I don't know if people are going to find this interesting, but I'm interested.
It's
What
very
if-
interesting.
would you be able to sell yourself as a generalist for a search that was outside of your niche, Ernie? Because you're right now selling yourself on the basis of understanding their business, okay, from the inside. That's what it sounds
I've
like
been-
to me.
I've done a funeral parlor. I've done mining. you
Did
know.
they
Yeah.
come your way or did you go
Ah.
after them?
It's sort of, it was a company that had this as a separate company.
Mm.
Okay.
They had food and then all of a sudden they do memorials.
Animal, I have one thing to add if you don't mind me adding it.
Go, I don't mind.
See, the principles are the same. Okay. Do you get what I'm saying?
I hear what you're saying, but that's
Yeah,
not
so
what people
you can-
like
he can-
Rich
he-
and
li-
Ernie
li-
say.
Listen, let me finish my statement. Ernie has already built up his reputation with that company, so they don't mind asking him
No,
to
okay,
work on
with
another
this
role.
company, yeah, this is a special situation. I was talking, can he sell himself?
He still can, for
company
sure. He can say,
outside his
"See, I
niche."
know how the business runs." If he just says that, anyone will shut their mouth
But you know.
because the way he tells it with authority, it's obvious.
It
You know,
is.
you weren't listening,
No, we-
MarioTheRecruiter.com. He
And-
knows the food business. That's what he's been telling us for the last 15
I am
minutes.
stating
Adam-
you can just give a blanket statement, Animal. That's a psychological trick. You just give a blanket statement and people fill what's in their head.
You know what I would do? You know what I would do with that? And what I've done is says, look, I know you want me to find this kind of person. I have no idea what it is that you're doing, what they're doing. Okay. I don't know your business, but I want to tell you one thing. If you can work me along with it and I can submit a candidate to you, give me feedback right away, then I can narrow it down for you and maybe we can find somebody. But I'm a
Okay.
food recruiter. I know the food industry. I don't, but if you want me to look
But-
for this one for you, I will. Now,
Tony,
do
I want to ask you a question. If someone sends you a role in the food in like an IT tech role in the food industry, you still be able to find them, right?
Yeah, we found them. I got one.
Yeah,
of
that's
them.
what I'm saying. So you know the process.
No, but I mean, what I'm saying is more like if it's like if it's construction, if it's such a specialty, the oil.
Yeah.
I don't have the contacts in oil.
Yeah. Okay.
But the only time I would do something like that is if I knew the hiring manager well enough,
Personally.
so he could hold my hand and tell me this is exactly what I'm doing.
mm.
Now, I did one with a cement company. And I knew that I had met and talked to the guy who was a hiring manager, he's a VP. And he told me what he was looking for. I submitted a candidate and he told me, he goes, that's not the guy we want, but you know what? He's exactly a person for this other position and we're gonna hire him for that. Now, I looked at the other position that he was hiring him for, and I can tell you, I had no idea why he was a match. And but I made some bucks off of it, but that's why you stick to a niche and people tell you to do that.
Okay, but Ernie, one of our favorite questions, one of my favorite questions is, let's say for some reason you were switching your niche. It's niche here in Canada. We are a French influenced country. And
Niche.
okay. And how would you start building your business? This is for, you like talking to newbies, okay? I know that because sometimes you advise Sasha, okay? So if you were starting a business and you didn't have any experience and you were working for another recruiter, but you had sort of a non-competition clause, so you went out on your own and you're starting a new niche, how should they pick up business? You don't have to comment on that. You can say, I don't know.
Well, I guess if I was gonna do it like that, I would end up looking around at the jobs that are available. But I picked something that I kind of knew a little bit about.
That's cheating.
No, say it's manufacturing, right? Or say, so it's
You're
like,
talking about general knowledge, Ernie. Am I correct?
yeah, general knowledge and something that I want to
Alright,
know
yeah.
more about, like the cannabis thing came out all of a sudden, right?
CBD.
And everybody's looking at how do I hire for the cannabis or
Yeah.
pharmaceutical or whatever. But it would be like something that, given my background, I have a little bit of knowledge of it. And there are certain things that carry over. Like,
Well,
it could
how would
be
you
like-
sell yourself? You gave us a detailed expression, although I'd like to go through it again another time. When you call up a person, you can't say, I'm Ernie. I've been in this
No.
business for 20 years, first on HR in the company, now as an external headhunter. Okay, you can't say that. That rug has been pulled out from under you.
Then
What are
you-
you going to
then you-
use to build trust that, yeah, you can have confidence in me?
I've looked at the job. I noticed that you've had this position over 3 months. Or say 90 days. I'm new to the recruiting industry. But I can
Well,
tell
I'm
you,
not new to recruiting. I didn't say that. I'm new to your industry.
I'm new to your niche, but I've done the recruiting in other areas, blah, blah, blah. I can promise you that I will work hard to try to find you somebody. All I'm asking for is an opportunity to work on this.
So you'd come, you come begging instead of, saying.
He's
"Hey,
not
I'm
begging,
Ernie."
he's being
Oh,
very
yeah,
direct.
now he's
But he's
on his
polite.
knees, please.
No,
please."
he's
That's
saying,
what he's
give me an
doing.
opportunity. Nothing wrong with asking for an opportunity. It's
Well,
not
that's
begging. Come
surprised
on,
me. I'm
animal, you're
just
going,
surprised it's a big
you're going
change.
to the extremes. He's not saying, please give me some. He's like, give me an opportunity, I'll deliver. At least I'll try to deliver.
No, his
Yeah.
tone is way different. Before it was condescending.
I actually like his
Now
tone.
it's subordinate. Okay?
Well, you got to know the audience. You got to know where you're
Yeah.
coming from.
Ernie, you are a god for that statement. I salute you. I salute you. That is perfect.
And you just change your tone to what you're doing. I mean, if you know it and you're asking, hey, you want to take a chance on me, take a chance on me. It's kind of like when you're asking somebody to dance.
Yeah, you want to
Go ahead,
dance?
You want to dance? But you got to go up and you got to ask.
I remember when I was 14, I was visiting my cousin in the country and he took me to this dance, right? And there was a girl there who I thought was very pretty. I knew she was a few years older than me, so I went to ask
Yeah, I
her.
like it, animal.
She just said no.
It's okay.
But
I can still feel that no. all
So you don't
these
like
years
animal, you
later.
don't like
But-
rejection?
But,
Oh,
I
honestly,
don't
Ernie,
like
I caught him.
rejection.
I
But
caught him
com-
in style.
but compared to the guy that goes up to 3 girls and says, do you want to dance? And she says, no. What about you? Do you want to dance? What about you? And then
That's
because
that's
I'm
that
here-
guy's
that's
got
and
balls.
I heard somebody say, I came to dance.
yeah. mhm.
That was it. Let's dance. That's what I want to do. I'll go dance by myself.
Okay, there's some songs about that, but now, yeah, geez, you took me off my. We can start talking about dancing.
Hey, you
and
told
I
us about
can't-
your old childhood
Okay, no,
stories.
but I just have to say something. I have, as I mentioned, I've gone out on marketing campaigns and talked to people and told them just the things that Ernie just said. You know what? I've got a good recruiting background. I don't know anything about your business really, or I actually have placed some people in your business, but not tons of them. And no, I'm dealing with people who this is their bread and butter. Why should I deal with you? And so I believe that a good recruiter who's a good salesman, not a mediocre person like me, would have used that somehow to rebut it. Say, look, I can handle this job. Somehow I'm going to be doing you a favor. Somehow they could deliver that message. Ernie, would you have a rebuttal if they said, Ernie, no, I don't, you don't have enough experience in my field. I want to work with somebody whose places 50 people like this a year. They know everybody already. I don't have to coach them.
And then you'll say, that's true. You can probably do that, but it's been 90 days since this job's been open.
Okay, that's the
Yeah.
other question. This is maybe the final question. It's every example you've given, it's always for a job that's been open for quite a while. You target those jobs. Am I right?
You look at them, yes, because if they've just been open for 2 days, their answer is usually going to be, well, we'll just see what we get first. And then you got to work on the pain. The pain starts coming in. And once it's 90 days, 60 days, you're saying they're calling you, aren't you? They're asking you for people. And
You know
and you're
what?
not being able to give them anything. So at least
This is
give you a
let's say
shot.
your first search with this company. Remember Tom Alashio was here last week and
Mhm, yeah.
he said, ask them for their toughest search. I don't want to do their toughest search. I don't know if I can fill it. I'm going to look terrible. But you're willing to take on searches that they haven't been able to fill on their own, right?
Well, that's a hypothetical. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, but we do that animal on a regular basis. We take on the toughest searches.
Oh, really?
That's why
Yeah.
that's why they
Yeah,
hire
obviously.
us.
That's why they pay us in dollars. They
Yes
pay
and
us,
no.
20, 30K. What are you talking about? You think they love us? They're gonna pay us out of the goodness of their hearts.
I gotta,
Oh my God.
I got a search the other day for a candidate because they didn't want to use their HR for a job opening, a project engineer. Paid him 170. We filled it within 3 weeks. And it was just a miracle from the heavens that came down to find the right guy at the right time.
Hallelujah.
Yeah,
Hallelujah.
they made 45,000 in 3 weeks. That's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
that's good money.
Okay. Anything else we should cover before, I think, or Ernie, thank you for being such a font of
You're
wisdom today.
Wisdom
I,
normally is.
yeah,
One of the things I wanted to mention was, remember I had posted that position, I mean, that statement that talked about those two people that were talking about, tell me the truth, and he says, I've taken an offer. I don't know if you ever know.
Yeah.
It's like two people talking like they're in love. And she goes, you can tell me the truth.
Yeah.
And then somebody says, well, okay, I've taken another offer.
Yeah.
And then she's
That
going,
meme was hilarious.
but the whole thing was, it's received close to 200 views and likes on the
Recruiters Online?
Yeah,
really
Yeah.
200. That's a lot for.
I know, and that's what I was thinking about.
That's a real lot. Yeah.
What is
Hey,
it?
Ernie, that
Yeah.
resonates with every recruiter, man.
Yeah, I know, and finding but that's the right thing, that you do that kind of stuff, and I'm watching other people that they know who you are. They know who you are as a recruiter when you start going into that, and I don't know. It was just an interesting observation. I said it almost hit 200, and it
So
probably will.
okay, before this show is over, a quick question. Can I go ahead, Animal?
But are those notes in the background that you're coaching me? That you've got them so I can see your notes in this?
See the paper right there.
Go ahead.
Wait, oh
Mario,
no,
the
these are my
recruiter.com.
goals for the business and all this shit. Okay,
Oh,
I like to keep an eye on my goals every day.
uh-huh.
Even if
I
I don't
noticed
move
that
towards it.
Ernie censored himself and didn't say shit, but you took the opportunity to.
Yeah, all right. Okay, listen. What would be a good line to send the HR? The HR. If you're going to, do some business development with the HR, fun of it. Send the same meme and just imagine that. Did your candidate who was supposed to start yesterday call you and say he has taken up they have taken up another offer? Would that be good? I don't mind trying it. Actually, I'm just so bored. I don't mind trying it out.
That the candidate, you say that again?
Just placed for a role has just called up and said they're going to take up another offer. And now we got to fill the role again.
Uh-huh.
You got to fall off. In other words, you place somebody and
yeah.
he's quitting already. After a few days or a couple of weeks.
No, before even starting the role. It happens a lot.
Oh, okay, you lost it. Yeah, it turned out. Huh?
You just sit there and you tell me, hey, he took another offer.
No, I'm trying to use in a business development idea. I'm just trying to frame it off this idea.
In the
of yours.
market.
Yeah, to market. Yeah, it sounds funny. I may get some good responses. I may get some people.
You
tell
mean
me
you
F
want to
off also.
call companies and say this guy turned down
I want
another
to send
job?
an email to every HR person I know, okay, who is like a gatekeeper, and tell them send them the same meme, and tell them, has this ever happened to you? Question mark. Maybe you need to use us to stop this from happening. Exclamation mark.
Why don't you just put, can we talk?
Yeah. Okay. Oh, brilliant! I told you. I'm so happy I spoke to Ernie today.
Travis, did you want to say something about Mario's idea, which I didn't think was bad, quite frankly. Do you have a comment, Travis?
Oh,
Oh no.
I don't know that it would get you anywhere through a gatekeeper though.
Which
Travis is mostly for fun though, but okay.
Mario, but the whole thing is you want them to know your name.
Yeah, exactly.
You got to make sure your name.
That may actually work in my favor. I mean, there's no good publicity or
Rich,
bad
that's what
publicity.
Rich says. Rich says, I want them to hear my name as much as possible. That's why he'll leave a million emails. He'll send voicemails rather. He'll send email. He'll make the calls. He doesn't care if they don't get back to him. He wants them to hear his name because eventually they'll say, I know that guy.
No, I think he
that's
refers to
it.
he refers to the candidates more than the clients on that side.
One of the things that I've done.
I don't know.
is-
He always says they're the exact same candidate calls and business development. He always says they're the exact same. Sorry, Ernie, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, one of the things I've learned from somebody is they said you send an email, you send a text, right? You leave your message, excuse me, you leave your message voice by the phone.
Yeah.
You send an email following up saying the same thing you said on that voicemail, and then you send a text and you say, hey, Mario, I just left you a voicemail and an email.
Yeah.
Check it out, your friend Ernie.
Mhm.
And that's it.
He's gonna send to somebody and say, your friend Ernie, yeah, okay, that makes sense to me.
And then-
I would have said,
And then they're gonna wonder, who in the hell's my friend Ernie?
Who's Ernie? Yeah.
And then they'll go to that voicemail, there he is, right there, boom,
Okay.
and they'll read it.
Okay. Okay.
But otherwise, the
Uh,
thing is, you gotta understand with text, they will read the text, they will not necessarily go to their voicemail or their email.
If you leave enough of them, I'm going with Rich on this. If you leave, he sends an email, he follows up the next morning. I don't know when he sends the text or what, but
Well, but I would tell you, with Rich is gold, number one. You listen to what he says, because everything he says is true. But the most important thing is to remember, one submit a day. That's it. And you'll be fine.
Hmm.
And that's his rule.
what he puts in one candidate a day he actually sends out.
That you send out one
A resume.
candidate a day, resume to a job offer, the job order.
Okay.
yeah,
And one,
that used to be our company rule those days.
Okay, MarioTheRecruiter.com. Thank you. Raise your hand. Yep. Ernie, Mr. Pink and White today. Thank you.
Yeah.
You were the guest today, Ernie. I really enjoyed talking to you. My good friend Travis, we had a political discussion before the show started. He's at the opposite end from me, but we still like each other. He's open. If you want to get in touch with Travis, one of the most beautifully voiced recruiters in the English speaking world. Okay. Just get in touch with me, recruitinganimal at gmail.com. Ivan Gulenko, clang.so. I don't know if it's the only Swiss applicant tracking system, but it's not in Swiss. Okay. They've got a bunch of languages there anyway. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.